horror story which will undoubtedly get your attention and will make you feel a bit scared and even frightened. This story is going to be unique, creepy, and almost incredible. Thus, let's not beat around the bush. Instead of this, we'll start our horror narrative right now. A company of old friends are truly addicted to chilling and hanging out together. Such sorts of activities generally surrounded them with enormous number of rather positive emotions and make their friendships stronger and stronger. Every one of them literally can't imagine his or her life without each other. The company's name are Polly, Anthony, Susan, Charles, Clara, and Nick. And now let's learn a bit more about each member of that interesting company. Anthony is literally said to be the leader of it. He is extremely courageous and honest. In addition, he has something romantic feelings for Polly, and apparently she also likes him, not only as a friend. This magnificent girl is definitely considered to be a pet of the company. She's so charming, affectionate, and sociable. Almost everyone is fond of her. Susan is not an exception. She is the oldest member of the company, already a senior. This girl is like a mummy. She is always able to solve any sort of problem or non-expectable issues which may suddenly appear. Nick is a cool boy with a great sense of humor. He always has an exciting story to tell, literally a comfortable person. Claire is the main source of ingenious ideas. She is the main organizer of common meetings, active and sunshiny girl. Charles is a sportsman. He is addicted to practicing boxing and visiting training, of course. Friends usually go to pick up him from training where he can linger from time to time. This summer, a company of different but very friendly people usually spends time in a peculiar place, similar to a cafe. It is called the basement. The reason for such a name is really laconic and rather understandable. At first, when you enter the cafe, you see a kind of bar counter with a maiden standing behind it. In fact, there are two workers here. Friends often call them a kind woman and another like angry one. Such nicknames eventually appeared according to their characters. Suffice it to mention that the second worker doesn't appreciate the company of friends at all. And frankly speaking, there is no any quite visible and obvious reasons for this. Apparently, it may be caused due to a simple non-sympathy. That day, the company came to the basement, as they usually do. The jubilant atmosphere appeared in a split of a second. That time, the friend's favorite angry woman was working. The company came closer to the bar counter, and work looked at the guys, not pleasurable. "Oh, it's you," said the woman indifferently. Friend decided to ignore the worker's dissatisfaction. "Good afternoon." "Yeah, as usual we are." The guys were looking at the cafe window, choosing what to order. Guess take a cherry mojito," said Susan. "Which we will have to drink, of course," added Anthony. The guys started laughing. After that, Polly, Anthony, and Clara had chosen fried potatoes, and company went downstairs. At first, everything was as usual. Guys were communicating with each other, playing Mafia, and laughing loudly. But then, Charles had to move away for a while, and didn't return. The guys got tense. Do you think Charles has disappeared somewhere? Said Clara. Yes, that seems to be strange, the guys agreed. Let's go and check. Apparently something has happened, proposed Nick. Friends went to the place situated right in the basement where Charles could be. Overwhelming, he wasn't there. He couldn't go without telling us. It doesn't look like Charles at all. The guys were calling Charles due to the mobile. However, he wasn't on the line. The way of texting also wasn't successful. Okay, let's consider another variant, said Nick. We'll go to the angry woman. Of course, we don't have a choice, replied another guy. Anxious friends went upstairs. When they entered the space, the worker was wiping glasses. Sorry, Mrs. Have you seen our friend Charles? The thing is that he left somewhere and did not return. The angry woman stopped doing that sort of activity at almost an ease. Although she wasn't frightened or didn't seem to be even a bit nervous. Apparently, he went to the toilet. Don't worry, she said indifferently and calmly. Friends looked at each other. We had already checked this version, but figured out that he was not there. The angry woman started to wipe glasses again, as if she wasn't listening. The worker was silent. The guys were politely waiting. It seemed to them that she won't give them an answer. Luckily, the miracle happened. Probably Landon left the cafe but didn't inform you about that. Each member of the company became shocked. Did you say Landon? How do you know his last name? The woman finally tensed up in a split second, pressed an unknown button which was near her working space. Suddenly, something similar to an explosion was heard. Roof debris began to fall unexpectedly. They were very giant and could definitely break someone's head of their parts of body. Friends eventually started to shout and immediately decided to run downstairs. The exit was literally blocked by an enormous number of roof debris. The only chance not to die in the rubble was running straight to the basement. She pressed something, and right after that, the roof became broken. Polly sat, having a hard and very scared breathing. We need to find a service exit and Charles, of course, said Anthony. Surely, replied the others. We don't have any desire to die young. When the guys were already downstairs, the bat appeared in front of their eyes. Then the creature caught Clara's hair in a split of a second and started to literally pull her to an unknown direction. Overwhelmingly, the small bat had a huge, even giant source of forces, much more than the person had.
Help me! Do something with that bat!
The girl was piercingly shouting. When friends noticed that thing, they ran after Clara without any shadow of hesitation. The bat was holding tight to the girl's hair. It seemed that in some seconds the creature would pull it out from their roots.
It's very painful, do something!
Clara didn't stop screaming at all. The guys were doing their best in order to brush off the bat, but the creature seemed to stick to Clara's hair and stay there forever. Finally, they got to the place to which the bat was leading them so stubbornly. He is almost near the service exit. The bat was trying to save us, Nick said. How do you know that there is an exit? Asked Anthony. Some days ago I figured out the place by chance. I just saw a kind woman entering it. That's almost our rescue, Thanks to the bat, Susan said. Yeah, that's really wonderful. Although it doesn't let go of my hair, and that scares me a bit, Clara noticed. And won't let go of your hair at all, the voice from behind was heard. Franz eventually turned around. In front of them appeared a figure of the angry woman, and the worker was not alone. She came with a dead Charles' body. Franz became speechless. They weren't even moving, not believing in that sort of murder. The murder of his best friend. You aspired to whisper Anthony. No, said the angry woman with a serious and at times rather creepy voice. It's you. You visited my cafe despite the fact that you annoy me enormously. The tone of her voice started rising. You're always happy, disgusting, laughing. You can't even imagine how tired I am of you. Your friend. What a silly boy. Tried to scare me by naming his surname and telling about his status. Damn Major. But I will end this. Now. In a split second, the angry woman was literally to take off her mask. She was not a human, but a real vampire, from whose mouth blood flowed. Suddenly, the friend's eyes turned pale, and they all fainted. In some hours, they woke up, being in chains. Their last days passed in that basement, the place which they truly loved.